Howdy, I am Kenkra from Kenkra Gaming. In the last episode, we hit level 20 and upgraded our workbench, made new, better furnaces and learnt the ability to make glass construction material. And we faced our first world boss, Black Wolf known as Bakan, and his pack. That was painful and Constantine was a true hero. There are many deadly threats here and we shall defeat them all. So, welcome to Icarus. So, full disclosure, I have shown you in a few episodes cave diving and generally how to gather general materials. To help the series along and to slow down my XP gains, Morg, in the background, will be out and about gathering and mining materials for me, giving me more time to show you new and more exciting aspects of the game. Hello, Morg. I shall leave you to it and enjoy. And thank you, honey. In the last episode, we started looking at the greenhouse with the glass construction kit. I showed you a couple of pieces, said that I would finish the greenhouse in my own time. Here it is on the outside. So I've even made a glass door. And then the advanced glass beams. It just looks generally pretty. And if we look here, I said about the additional modifiers and that we would get. So plus 10% planted crop growth speed, plus 50% duration of fertilizer. This evergreen, where the planted crops won't wither, that is that talent that I took. Then we've got sunlight, which is plus 20% planted crop growth speed. Then we've got the greenhouse effect, which increases the planted crop growth speed by another 50%. So we've got a total of 205% total crop growth speed. Let's harvest them up. Whilst I was making the pieces for that, I decided to make a few extra glass panels so we could open the base a bit more. This is going to be our kitchen area, and it would be nice to have a view whilst we're doing our cooking. And that is a lovely view there. Right, before we get into the cooking side of things, you may have noticed here that my bow is broken and it requires composites to repair, and I'm not in the place to be able to do composites. So we need to make ourselves a new bow. So let's go into the tech tree and have a look at what bows that we can make. So we've got the recurve bow just here. It's one of the best ones at this stage of the game, so that's what we want to look at. Unfortunately, you can see it is greyed out. That is because we need to unlock the forge. Now, the forge is an upgraded version of the anvil bench. So we've just learnt that. Let's close that down and let's look to make our forge. As you can see here, we need 20 iron ingots, 150 stone, 8 epoxy, and 20 steel ingots. So there's all the mats for that. Let's make our forge. Go in just there. We do take a fuel here, which is either the charcoal or coal. So there's our coal in there. Now that's down. Let's go back to the tech tree. And then learn the recurve bow. So for the recurve bow, we need 8 steel ingots, 8 rope, 18 aluminium, 8 epoxy, and 4 screws. There's all the mats for the recurve bow. Let's equip that and have a quick look. Oh, that is a nice looking bow. Oh, we have a volunteer. So, before we get into the kitchen side of things, there is one thing we're going to need to make beforehand. So if we go into the tech tree, into tier 3, we are going to make the biofuel composter. This gives us the ability to make biofuel, which will be used to power some of the bits that we're going to be making shortly in this episode. And we'll also unlock the biofuel can, which will hold the biofuel. So to make the biofuel composter, we need 20 iron ingots, 8 copper ingots, 12 concrete and 20 screws. Let's make that. So we're just going to put the biofuel composter just here. And then we need to make a couple of biofuel cans. So for biofuel can, we just need 25 iron ingots. We're going to make 2 of them. Put them inside our composter. And then we've got lots and lots of different ways of making the biofuel. So we could use raw meat, we could use cooked meats, we could use fiber, wood, sticks, rotten meats, and even vegetable oil. But each one of them, except vegetable oil, does require tree sap. So we're going to put a load of tree sap in here. Right, and then we're going to put some wood in there. And as you see, that will start going up and that will start filling up our biofuel cans. I am very limited on wood at the moment, so I'm going to go out quickly and chop a few trees down. Right, so as that biofuel starts filling up, let's look into start making our kitchen. So the very first thing we're going to unlock is this kitchen bench just here. So let's go and make that. To make the kitchen bench, we need 30 refined wood, 8 iron ingots, 20 epoxy and 20 copper nails. Make that, and we shall leave that on there for the moment. We then want the biofuel stove. And to make that, we need the refined wood, epoxy, copper nails, steel, and screws. The next thing we're going to look at is the medicine bench. To make the medicine bench, we need the refined wood, iron ingots, organic resin, copper nails, and glass. Next, we are going to make the butchery bench. And to make the butchery bench, fine wood, iron ingots, copper nails, and steel. And then we are going to make the smoker. And for the smoker, we need iron ingots, 10 copper ingots, 15 concrete, steel screws, and 50 charcoal. Right, so that is 5 of our kitchen items made. But before we place them out, there's just one last thing I want to make. And it's over by the glass working bench. It is the glass jars. So to make a glass jar, we need 1 bit of glass and 1 iron ingot. We shall make ourselves 20. And we shall just leave that to work itself out. Right, now let's start putting our kitchen out, shall we? Well, we no longer need drying rack, the herbalism bench. We still need the salting station. Pick up our campfire, our cooking station, and let's start placing down. So we'll put the kitchen bench down first. Fix that here. And then the rest of these will snap onto it. So that's our biofuel stove, that's our butchery bench, and our medicine bench. And then we shall place our smoker just next to it. We'll start left to right. So our smoker, it's just like where we were drying, but we do have other recipes on here. So we do need charcoal to fuel it. So let's get some charcoal. So there's a few of our basic dried meats here that we could make on the drying rack, but we could also make, like this, the plain jerky, which requires raw meat and salt. So we're just going to make a few of them. And it's going to take a little while to cook, but again, because it's part of the dried meats, you know it's going to last a while. We're going to skip the medicine bench for now. We'll come back to that a bit later. So we're going to go into the butchery bench, and here is where we can turn meats into normal meat. So that's going to turn these 9 bits of bacon into basic meat or raw meat. We can use any of the meats, and each cut of meat can give between 1, 2 or 3 bits of raw meat. We can also use carcasses to get specific meats. Again, we will look into doing that at another stage. We've not really got the farm animals down at the moment, so... Then we've got our kitchen bench, and just like the previous kitchen bench we had, or cooking station, should I say, we do have the ability to make the animal fat, but we also have some basic recipes on here. So this is where the glass jars come into handy. So if we grab hold of the glass jars, just put them on there for now. I want to go grab some carrots. Made myself a new canteen. You could use tainted water for this. We're going to make the pickled carrots. This is one of my go-to foods, especially as early on as I can. So to make the pickled carrots, we need the water, a carrot, a glass jar, and 5 salt. And we can make 15. So this is going to take us just over a minute to make. We've got our 15 pickled carrots here. And the great thing about the pickled carrots is it never goes off. So this will now last me as long as I need it. And the benefits we get out of it, so it's 150 food when consumed, gives us 150 maximum stamina, plus 20% projectile damage, so that's guns, bows and arrows, crossbows, and also 20% additional shared experience gain. So that shared experience gain will work on our animals, or if you're playing with a friend or someone else is on your prospect, you will share your XP gains, and that just boosts it by another 20%. Right, and then finally we will look at the biofuel stove. So there are many recipes on here. Not too much that we can make at the moment. We can do our usual cooked meats, cooked fatty T-bones. We can make crunchy soybeans, so let's make a few of them. Ah yes, we need our biofuel. Place that in there. Let's make our 5 crunchy soybeans. And there's our crunchy soybeans, and the oven will turn itself off, and that biofuel can will just stay there. So, as Morg is going to be going out and collecting resources for me, I think I will do her a little gift. We can see here, there's a big buffalo there, and a little buffalo. That little buffalo is a baby, and as we know we could do with babies, is that we can tame them. So, don't forget, cover your skin in the blood of the mother. So let's grab this one and let's take him home. Right, so while that's taming up, we are going to sort out our next piece for him. So as you've noticed with our other 2 mounts, we've put the basic riding saddle on. You can put a basic riding saddle on the buffalo, but we are going to go one better. And one of the great reasons why we have a buffalo is this wooden cart here. So we need to learn the bovine harness first, and then the wooden cart. So to make the wooden cart, we need a basic riding saddle, where I have prepared one earlier. We need wood, nails, rope, epoxy, and refined wood. So there's all our mats for our wooden cart. We will craft that. And then we'll be leaving that on there until our dear boy grows up. Yeah, I see you, bear. So, whilst fighting that bear, I got another wound. When I was fighting Bakan, I got a wound, but this one is a deep wound, and using a basic bandage will not heal this. So, we need to go into the tech tree, go back to tier 1, and we need to make ourselves a suture kit. So, to make a suture kit, we need fibre, bones, and leather. And then we just right click consume, and that'll cure that for us. Whilst pottering around, I happened to get some gamey meat. Pairing that with the gorse, one of the seeds I got from my very first wheel spin, I can create one of my favourite foods on the smoker. Gorse smoked gamey meat, which is 1 bit of raw gamey meat and 5 gorse flour, and that will give us 30 health when consumed, 200 food when consumed, and then 100 maximum health, 100 maximum stamina, plus 25% melee damage, 20% health regeneration, and minus 25% on our food and water consumption. So we'll make all 8 of them. There is our plain jerky there. So whilst we're waiting for that gorse gamey meat to cook, we're going to learn our wood crop plots. So to make the wood crop plots, we need 8 bits of wood, 10 sulphur, and 20 dirt. Well, you're probably thinking at this moment, dirt? Where do I get dirt from? So we do need to unlock a shovel. We got here the platinum shovel. So to make the platinum shovel, we need 4 bits of platinum and 6 bits of iron. Let's grab that. And we're just going to simply pop outside, equip our shovel, and dig around. And that'll give us our dirt. I'm going to make 4. We'll pick them up. And then we're just going to place them down next to our other ones. And let's plant the rest of our carrots and our gorse. And there we go. There's our buffalo all grown up. Okay, so we are going to go take over Morg's buffalo. So we'll put the cart on. As you can see, there is a lot of cargo here. And it can hold up to 1,476 kilograms. It's not the fastest mount in the world, but it's great for when you're going out, doing a few caves, generally going around and getting mats together. Morgie here. Ah, here she is. Here's a little gift for you. Right, if you hold to examine and then you click the unclaim button, that then leaves Morg to be able to claim him herself. The bed's down for you. I will go and sort you out a food and water trough. Right, so we could make the standard food and water trough, but what we're going to do now is make the upgraded ones. So if we go to the tier 2, go to where our ranching station is, and we've got the large water trough and the large food trough. And to make them, they both are exactly the same. We need 80 wood, 12 tree sap, and 32 iron nails. Okay, so we need 2 of the water troughs and 2 of the food troughs. So we see there's 4 slots there. Let's pull this up. We put a large food trough down. And there's a lot more slots there. And we put the water trough down. So this one can be connected to a water pump. So let's make a water pump, shall we? So if we go into the tech tree, into tier 3, and where our biofuel composter is, right at the end there, we've got our biofuel water pump, and we've got our water pipe tool, which is very important. So to make the biofuel water pump, we need steel, electronics, epoxy, and copper wire. Well, we've not got into electronics or copper wire yet, so we come here just above the cement mix, or next to the cement mix, so above. We've got our copper wire, our gold wire, and our electronics. So if we go down to our copper wire, make 100 of them, that will make 500. Believe me, you will go through a lot of these. And then as we are starting to get more items on our bench, we can click on the craftable, which will show us what we can craft with the mats that are available on us or in the bench. So we want to make some gold wire too. And whilst the copper wire and gold wire goes, let's go and check on our food. So our Gore smoked gamey meat is made. And if we grab our plain jerky as well, we can salt them up. So that's 3.3 hours until that spoils, and the same with there. So electronics requires 5 gold wire, 15 copper wire, 2 organic resin, and 2 epoxy. We can make 33 at the moment, so let's make all of them. The electronics is something that is going to be used from now on pretty much. So here we go, we've got all our materials for the biofuel water pump. And then the next thing we need to do is the water pipe tool, where we need copper wire, gold wire, and platinum sheath. We're also going to need our second biofuel can. So we're going to drop this straight in the water, interact with it to add the biofuel can, and then activate. And then we'll put our water pipe tool on our bar. So if we right click on the biofuel water pump with it, it will connect. And then we can just click everywhere we want to put a connection. This doesn't go a very long way. It works out to about 2 blocks worth of building. So put that there. Click on the water drop down here, connect that up, and you can see that is filling itself up. We're now going to go do ourselves a simple quest. Got a choice of 2 here. We've got a hard one, which is hunt. You basically got to go around and kill a certain amount of creatures that they ask you to. Or the second one is a crazed creature, where it's just one creature that you've got to kill, more of a boss type thing. We're going to go with a harder one and go with hunting. So let's click on that. And we need to hunt 27 rabbits. So you can see on the map here, there is a area where you can look. But as long as you're killing rabbits, the quest will get done anyway. And that was the last one. Okay, we're here at our pod, and what rewards have we got here? So we've got squash, grilled freshwater fillet and fibre, or we've got wood, refined wood and sticks, or beautification project, a rustic Icarus statue and a rustic dresser. I think we'll go with them. Before we go into the tier 4 tech, we are going to learn carbon paste. To make carbon paste, we need 1 silica ore, 1 aluminium ingot, 4 organic resin and 2 epoxy. So we can make 39 there. We shall make all them. We'll just take what we've made so far and place it in the concrete furnace. Our next plan of action, as we've hit the next tier and we hit level 30, is moving on to our wheel spin. So last time I got the Envirosuit and modules. There's 2 items left here. There's the full armor set and shotgun and 4 packs of bullets. So let's see what we win. It's the shotgun and bullet packs. You go into the workshop, go down to the firearms. We have a shotgun here. Craft that. And then 4 boxes of shells. And we'll get that sent down. So we'll put that in place of our bolt action rifle and we'll just put that away. And then with these boxes of shells, if we just right click and consume, it gives us 25 shells per box. That gives me 100 rounds. And then we equip the shotgun. And that holds 6 bullets. Okay, now on to the tier 4 tech. So the very first thing we need to unlock is the fabricator. And we need 40 aluminium ingots, 30 electronics, 30 concrete mix, 8 carbon fibre and 30 screws. Let's pick that up, pick up the machining bench and place the fabricator down. There is a lot to learn on the tier 4 and we will go through most of it at least. But for this episode, we are going to look to do one main goal. And if we go all the way to the end, we have the marble kitchen bench. And just here, we have the deep freeze, which is a freezer. That's what I want to aim to get done today. First things first, to get there, we need the electricity tool. And that will open everything else. 50 copper wire, 50 gold wire, and 4 carbon fibre. Let's make that. And whilst that's making, we then want to go to the water wheels. This was something I mentioned a couple of episodes back where we could put the water wheel underneath the base. So we're going to use that as our main source of power, at least to start with. To make the water wheel, we need 25 organic resin, 50 stone, 100 wood, 10 steel ingots, 10 electronics, and 50 copper nails. Right, I am going to craft 2 of them. So we'll grab both our water wheels and our electricity tool. Then we're going to go right to the edge, as far over as we can, so we can place multiples down. And we shall place one there. And then we'll equip our electric tool like we did the water pipe tool. And we're just going to chain that together like that. And then bring the power wire over to here. Right, so when placing wires, if you keep chaining, it will go round and it will go into certain angles. If you want to have a straight line, you put it down where you're going first and go all the way back. I like to keep my wires and pipes neat, so I tend to go with the straight lines. And then we'll just put a connection into the base, so there's power inside. We go back to the tech tree. One next thing that I would like to make is this flow meter. The flow meter will basically tell you how much power you've got being supplied and how much is under demand. The flow meter needs aluminium ingots, gold wire, copper wire, electronics and glass. So we'll make the flow meter now. I'll show you how to hook that up. Right, this goes straight onto the wall, so we'll put this just here and just hook it in like that. And then if you hold the interact button, now it's showing that we've got a supply of 4,000, and at the moment there is no demand. So let's make a demand, shall we? Right, as I say, if we go all the way to the end, we need to learn the marble kitchen bench to unlock the deep freeze. And to make the deep freeze, we need 20 aluminium ingots, 15 electronics, 10 carbon fiber, 15 screws, and 20 platinum ingots. There we go, that's all the pieces. Let's put that together. And we shall put our deep freeze just here. That's now connected up. On the flow meter, it will show you demand of 2,500. So if we open that up, first thing you'll see is a piece of ice. That will continue to produce ice whilst there are spaces in the slots. Let's just get rid of that. And we're just going to put all our perishables in there. And as you can see, the perishables will no longer spoil. And the last thing I want to look at is a tier 2 thing. Well, there is one in tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4. But we're going to go with the tier 2 to start with. And that is the simple creature deterrent. So we go to our textiles bench and we've got this here. Requires a cloth head armor, cloth arm armor, stone, wood, tree sap and spoiled meat. Go back to tier 1. We need to learn the cloth armor stuff. Now the cloth armor stuff is crafted on myself. So that was cloth armor head, which is 80 fiber, and then the arms, which again is 80 fiber. So we've got all that. And we'll just place it out the front here. Now, it won't stop all creatures from spawning, but it will reduce the amount that will be around. So to power this, you either need spoiled plants or spoiled meat. So we'll put our spoiled meat in there. And that gives us 22.5 hours on 90 bits of spoiled meat. And then if you open your map, you can see the orange circle, which should stop the spawn rate around this area. So now's time to do our main quest. So we'll go into the operations, which will unlock this top section here. It's unlocked for myself at the moment, but if you were to come on a fresh run, these would be locked off. So I will show you the homestead quest.
The Assembly are new to Icarus, but if their track record's anything to go by, They'll be running the place soon enough. If you're looking for some quick cash, this could be the one. Looks simple enough, but then again, it always does. You should know how to pick 'em by now. Working with the assembly's a smart bet. And they're moving faster than anyone out here. They're paying the contract, but the clock, that belongs to Icarus. So check your objectives and get going, because they'll be spinning their wheels till you do. Stay safe, friend.
We know we're going to be doing some constructing. It does say reach build location. So we're going to make sure we bring a few items with us just to help us out. Now we have this forge, we no longer need the anvil bench. So we're going to pick up the anvil bench and we're going to take that with us. We are also going to take the machining bench with us. So we zoom out, we can see we've got to go all the way up to N10 to get to our location. So I shall meet you there.
So this is the spot. They got their reasons. Let's get started.
Well, we're at our spot and this is a hell of a view. One of the first things we've got to do is craft and deploy a decoration bench. So let's go into the tech tree, go into tier 2, and right here we've got our decoration bench. If we want to put our machining bench out to make the decoration bench, we're going to need to start building the cabin so we have some shelter. So I'm going to chop some trees down, grab some fibre and start constructing. So we check some of the bits that we need to make. For instance, rustic large table, we're going to need some iron nails. We've got the rustic Icarus statue here. We're also going to need copper. We are going to need to make ourselves a forge. And we're also going to need to go and do some mining to get some iron and some copper. Whilst I was out getting the materials, I broke my leg. So I learnt the splint made a splint, and used a splint. Okay, so one thing on the list is the fireplace. We need to go in the tech tree, go to tier 2, and right at the beginning, just above the stone furnace, is the fireplace. So let's learn that one and create our fireplace. And we'll do ourselves a chimney cap for that too. So this will snap into the wall. Next thing we need is a large rustic table. 80 wood, 60 sticks, and 20 iron nails. That's our large rustic table done. Now we need a rustic bookshelf. We need 10 iron nails and some wood. Okay, the next thing we need is rustic dining chairs, and we need 6 of them. So the rustic dining chairs are there. Each one is 5 wood, 10 sticks, and 10 fibre. That's 6 craft in there. Then we need a 3-seater couch and a 2-seater couch. So we've got our 3-seater here, which is just sticks and fibre. And 2-seater. I thought it'd be quite nice to add a little porch here. There we go. Nice little porch. Get back to our crafting. So the last thing we made was the 2-seater and the 3-seater sofa. We need 2 rustic beds now. So to make rustic beds, we need 20 wood, 30 fir, 10 leather, and 10 nails. That's our 2 rustic beds baking. We need to make 2 Icarus statues. So the Icarus statues take 5 iron ingots and 5 copper ingots. And then all we've got left is 4 rustic nightstands. Rustic nightstands just here. So we're going to pick everything else up that's not part of the quest, so we have room for everything. So we're going to put one of the beds just here. And we're going to put a nightstand next to each of them. We're going to place our large table just over here with our 6 chairs around. I'm going to put our bookshelf over by the decorating table and our sofas by the window. Just going to put our statues out. That's the quest done.
That's everything. You did it, and lived to tell the tale. Which is more than a lot of folk can say, 'cause they're dead. The Assembly can be slow to trust people, but if you keep this up, you'll do well with them.
Join me next time where we will dive a little more into the tier 4 tech and look into fishing, which is a fun little mini game. If you have enjoyed this or any other content we have to offer, please like, share and subscribe. I have been Kenkra, enjoy yourselves and watch out for the bunnies. Goodbye.